I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary?
When Chennedy Carter clashed with Caitlyn Clark in front of a nationwide audience, she instantly became one of the WNBA's most polarizing figures. The reaction was swift and unforgiving.
It looked like the push that was heard around the world has cost WNBA player Chennedy Carter her career.
But that push, it's merely the beginning. Carter's past issues, locker room drama, conflicts with teammates, and a growing rift with the league have all resurfaced with force. And believe me, this story runs deeper than anyone anticipated.
Now, a situation did take place in the fourth quarter between Chennedy Carter and Caitlyn Clark that people is furious over. Indiana Fever fans is calling for Chennedy Carter to be charged, actually, with assault.
What makes the story even more gripping is that it's not just about that one incident. Carter has a long-standing reputation for stirring up conflicts wherever she goes, frequently clashing with teammates and coaches. Once again, she's been let go. Incredibly, this marks the fourth time a team has taken a chance on her, only to quickly decide they were better off without her.
Chennedy Carter is somebody that, let's be real, if you know about her history, she has a history of, well, let's just say violent conduct. Like, she got suspended from the Dream because she fought a teammate. She got kicked out of her team overseas.
Imagine having the talent to dominate the court, but causing so much turmoil that 4 different teams decide they're better off without you. We're about to break down every detail that led to this boiling point, from the behind-the-scenes confrontations to that explosive encounter with Caitlyn Clark. The scene, a tense matchup between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever, already fierce rivals. The stadium is packed to the rafters, adrenaline is through the roof, and Clark is on fire, sinking shots effortlessly. The crowd is standing, the energy is electric like a masterclass in what basketball should be.
Stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlyn Clark for 3, rattles it around for her.
Being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebound games.
Then, in an instant, everything changed. Carter lashed out, shoving Clark in the middle of play. The arena seemed to pause, every spectator holding their breath in sheer disbelief. For a moment, it felt like time itself had stopped, leaving everyone stunned by what had just transpired.
And then we get to the body check. This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but it was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people.
Maybe you're thinking, it's just a push, right? Not exactly. The incident escalated in a heartbeat. Officials looked taken aback, league execs seemed at a loss for words, and Clark was left in disbelief. Carter? She acted as though nothing happened. No apology, no sign of regret, just an icy demeanor that shook the whole place.
I don't know Caitlyn. I don't know her from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is hoops. It's competitive, and this is basketball. I classify myself as a dog. So if you're gonna throw a punch, then I'm gonna compete with you. I'm gonna play at the level that you're given.
League authorities instantly classified it as a flagrant foul, both severe and unjustified. In basketball, where confrontations rarely turn physical, a deliberate push is about as extreme as it gets. This isn't a high-contact sport like football. In the WNBA, that level of aggression is a major red flag.
This was not called a flagrant foul at the time, but it was obviously not a basketball play. Apparently, it had something to do with one of the plays beforehand, but the words that came out of her mouth right before what happened kind of made this a little uncalled for. I mean, a little is understated, but it ended up being upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul.
You might think things would settle down, but they only got worse. Carter's reaction, total indifference. She offered no remorse, no excuse, just a casual shrug. When reporters pressed her, she flatly stated, "I'm not talking about Clark." If silence can spark a wildfire, this one went up in flames.
After that push, this is what she said to the media.
Kennedy, on the play before bumping in with Caitlyn, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever
I
score.
didn't answer no Caitlyn Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough.
Now, all eyes are on Carter's next steps, and things aren't looking good. The WNBA doesn't let incidents like this slide, and penalties are imminent. Fines, suspensions, everything is on the table, and the situation could escalate even further.
This is not good. This is not good at all, because it's not good for the WNBA to have the reputation of being prison ball. And some players aren't really helping. Some players aren't really helping with that. And Chennedy Carter is really not helping with that by her latest response.
But let's zoom out. This isn't just about one moment or one player. It's about the WNBA's future. Caitlyn Clark has been drawing record-breaking crowds, revitalizing interest in the league. Just as women's basketball was experiencing a surge, this controversy landed like a lightning bolt.
We are seeing women just refuse to go to post-game media pressers because they don't want to talk about Caitlyn Clark, or they refuse to answer any questions about Caitlyn Clark. This is what the media is highlighting, because whether you guys like it or not, Caitlyn Clark is the reason that a lot of these new fans are watching the WNBA.
The real question is, what was Carter thinking? Did she not foresee the fallout? Or was it simply a moment of unchecked emotion? And what about Clark? Despite handling the situation professionally, it had to sting. Imagine dedicating yourself to excellence, only to be met with a blatant act of hostility on the biggest stage.
What she did to Caitlyn Clark was completely unnecessary, and I'm here to tell you guys, she's living with that decision today.
Now, fans took to social media in droves, dissecting the footage, choosing sides, and debating the consequences. The entire basketball world is in suspense, waiting for the league's next move.
Somebody said Chennedy Carter is averaging damn near 50 right now overseas as we speak. Why come she has not been signed? Make this make sense. Make this make sense? You want us to make this make sense? I got one good reason why she ain't got signed yet. Make this make sense. Why would she do this? Roll the damn footage. You want to say why?
But let's be clear, this is bigger than Carter and Clark. It's about the WNBA taking a firm stand, making it known that certain behavior won't be tolerated. If you think another team will swoop in and offer Carter a contract, don't count on it. The Chicago Sky didn't just bench her, they completely cut ties. No trade, no buyout, just a straight dismissal, an extremely rare move for a leading scorer.
So on paper, the Chicago Sky are out of their minds to let Chennedy Carter walk. But that's exactly what's happening, because they could have extended a qualifying offer for her, given, her free agent status. Instead, they declined to, which makes her an unrestricted free agent, which is them telling you they don't want her back. They don't want her back. And considering their lack of scoring and shot creation and what she did last year and her talent, for them to just not want her back and to let her walk is a big statement. It's a big statement.
With her reputation in shambles, general managers across the league aren't even entertaining the thought of signing her. Once a highly sought-after talent, she's now completely blacklisted. The speed at which her career has nosedived is staggering.
And yes, you heard me correctly. Chennedy Carter WNBA career look like it could be over, guys, because the Chicago Sky is releasing her. They don't want nothing for her. They want her to go about her business. Now, we all remember what happened when she took it upon herself to put her filthy thug hands on WNBA player Caitlyn Clark. I knew then her future was not going to be very bright, bruh.
To understand how we got here, we have to go back. Carter left Texas A&M as a standout, securing a first-round draft pick with the Atlanta Dream. The potential was undeniable, but instead of capitalizing on her opportunity, she made choices that led straight to controversy. Let's break it all down.
In her sophomore year of the WNBA, there was an altercation between her and Courtney Williams. Now, I don't know what Courtney Williams is like when she is not in a good mood. Apparently, the situation is that Chennedy Carter was sitting on the bench. People were cheering for her teammates. She seemed very disengaged and just kind of like not caring. So Courtney Williams goes up to her and says, "Hey, come on, cheer for your teammates, be a part of this team." And then ensues an altercation between the two, where Chennedy Carter was sent to the locker room mid-game, of which afterwards, after the game, this is what has been reported. I guess Chennedy Carter wanted to fight Courtney Williams, like physically fight Courtney Williams.
During her time with the Dream, Carter clashed fiercely with Courtney Williams, nearly igniting a physical altercation. Notably, Williams is known for avoiding drama, which speaks volumes about how bad things must have been. Eventually, the Dream had no choice. Carter was suspended and soon after, traded away.
And look, this is Chennedy Carter, by the way. This is a player who has all-star ability, who has all-star talent, who has the talent to be on the USA Olympic team, but was kicked off one of her teams for trying to fight her teammate. Was kicked off another team for conduct detrimental to the team, was kicked off her overseas team for that.
And the pattern continued. When she joined the Los Angeles Sparks, many hoped she'd turn a new leaf. That didn't happen. More problems surfaced. leading to yet another benching. No matter where she went, conflict seemed to follow, but things were about to go from bad to worse.
Because of that, the Atlanta Dream did suspend her in the middle of the sophomore season, basically saying she was a detriment to the team and the team culture. So then the Atlanta Dream decided to trade her to the Sparks, the Los Angeles Sparks. She ended up playing a lot less minutes there, and the reasoning that the Sparks were saying that she was playing less minutes was because of poor conduct, and that was the 2022 season. Then in the 2023 season, the Sparks just decided to release her in the offseason.
At this point, you might wonder, how bad can this really get? Let me put it plainly. One league executive said they wouldn't touch Carter under any circumstance. She's hit the radioactive label. This isn't just one franchise snubbing her. This is an across-the-board avoidance.
I don't know why people be so surprised. Oh my God, Chennedy Carter deserved a play. Why?
Still not convinced? Look at what the Chicago Sky did. They didn't just part ways, they didn't even entertain keeping her. In the WNBA, letting your top scorer leave without compensation is practically unthinkable. It reveals the level of tension behind closed doors. The Sky would rather be at a disadvantage on the court than deal with her antics.
And I think it says a lot that the Sky are the latest team to be willing to part with Chennedy Carter, especially considered how talented she is, because she's got skills. There's no questioning that.
Carter's actions have sent waves across the WNBA. Her status has nosedived to such an extent that not even her talent can balance out the turmoil. This situation is a blunt lesson in professional sports. No matter how skilled you are, your behavior can make or break your career.
She has so much talent, but obviously failure to manage her impulses at times have led to problems.
Inside the Chicago Sky's locker room, the tension was building like a storm you could feel in the air. Players traded uneasy looks and spoke in whispers. Former coach Teresa Weatherspoon had picked up on Carter's conduct. If that wasn't telling enough, a key teammate went as far as calling Carter a locker room cancer, saying the team would be better off without her. That's a brutal blow that doesn't fade quickly.
According to multiple league sources, players were unhappy with the dynamic created in the locker room last year due to Carter's behavior, which went unchecked by former coach Teresa Weatherspoon. There was concern within the team how re-signing Carter would impact the Sky's chances of landing other free agents. So as much as anything, it was about the fact that, if she's there, other players won't play.
And it wasn't just hush-hush chatter. Some players actively pushed for Carter's dismissal before the game even started. That's harsh, but it shows how toxic things had become. The final straw? Angel Reese, arguably Carter's closest ally, hit the unfollow button on social media. That public act of cutting ties screams, "I'm done," louder than any rumor ever could.
She gets no offer to return from the Chicago Sky, which a lot of people have been feeling by her social media posts that she got quite offended by, and she made a social media comment about how making layups is so important to the game. A lot of people thinking she was talking about Angel Reese not being able to make a layups.
As for the coaching staff, they were stumped. Reports say they kept changing their approach because they couldn't figure out how to make Carter fit. Think about it. Someone so disruptive that her coaches are stuck, not knowing which direction to go. That says volumes about how deep the issues ran.
I honestly don't see any WNBA team being interested in the project of dealing with Chennedy Carter. And I'm here to tell you, dog, I don't think nobody's going to pick her up either.
The Chicago Sky didn't just ride out the storm. They made a drastic, unexpected decision. They flatly refused to give Carter a qualifying offer. For a player with her offensive gifts, that's nearly impossible to fathom. Like telling an NBA superstar, "We're good, no thanks." Let's be real. Carter's athleticism, her finishing abilities, and her near unstoppable drives should make her a hot prospect. But the Sky decided that no number of points is worth the drama she brings. That kind of statement can't be ignored.
Maybe Chennedy Carter was going in it for herself sometimes, but she sure was fun to watch. Here's what was actually said. This is from the Chicago Sun-Times. Annie Costable, Vanche, who always does a good job getting stuff. Chennedy had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
An unnamed source spelled it out. The team would rather leave a spot on the roster open than bring back Carter. Think about that. Being so problematic that a franchise opts for an empty seat over your presence. That's an entirely different level of unmanageable.
So the Sky do not want her for locker room issues. They did not offer her any return contract, never spoke about her in conversations about the franchise's future.
So here we are. Carter stands at a crossroads where even her outstanding talent might not save her reputation. Once seen as a beacon for the WNBA, she's now in a spot where teams feel too uneasy to sign her. It's like watching the downfall of a potential superstar unfold right before our eyes. You might be wondering why that push caused such an uproar. Look at who was on the receiving end. Caitlyn Clark is not just another player. She's transforming the WNBA as we speak. She's breaking records, showing off mind-blowing court vision, and hitting three-pointers like she's figured out some secret cheat code. Each performance feels like a preview of where women's basketball is headed.
You know, from personal experience, the better that you get, the more hate, jealousy, pettiness will come your way. And a lot of times it comes from other women being insecure in themselves. There can be women who are older than you, better than you on your team, but if they see that you are a young star and you're doing really well, they will do whatever they can do to sabotage your success.
But Clark's impact goes beyond her incredible on-court moves. She's drawing new fans to women's basketball. People who previously ignored the WNBA are tuning in specifically to watch her. The numbers don't lie. The Indiana Fever might surpass 600,000 attendees this season, blowing past their previous peak of just over 400,000 back in 1999. Arenas nationwide are filling up because of her. And all that chatter about nobody buying jerseys, her skyrocketing sales have put that debate to rest.
This is what the media is highlighting because whether you guys like it or not, Caitlyn Clark is the reason that a lot of these new fans are watching the WNBA. And anybody saying, oh, it's the rookie class, no, it's not. It's Caitlyn Clark.
League-wide merchandise sales have gone up by over 500% compared to last year, and Clark's personal jersey is flying off shelves like it's being given away for free. She's single-handedly pushing the broader player merch numbers up by an astonishing 1,000%. That's not a typo. It's solid evidence of how she's reshaping the sport.
So Caitlyn Clark's 2024 campaign wasn't just about dominance, it was about redefining basketball. She might actually be the face of all of basketball, to be honest.
Yet Clark's influence isn't restricted to her spellbinding plays. She's flipping the script on women's basketball as a whole. Sports channels that once barely mentioned the WNBA are now dedicating full segments to her highlights. Meanwhile, social media lights up after every one of her games, keeping fans and even casual onlookers on the edge of their seats.
It all kicked off with her being named Rookie of the Year, then Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. Big deal. Then she was Sports Business Journal Best Business Athlete of the Year, and now she has been named AP's Female Athlete of the Year.
And the timing couldn't be better. The WNBA has fought for more visibility, higher pay, and better resources for years. Now with Clark drawing massive crowds and significant revenue, the league finally has some real leverage. We might see higher salaries, stronger broadcast deals, and a deeper commitment to women's basketball from top to bottom.
The AP says Caitlyn Clark honored as Female Athlete of the Year following her impact on women's sports. Caitlyn Clark raised the profile of women's basketball to unprecedented levels in both college ranks and the WNBA, and Tuesday she was named AP's Female Athlete of the Year for her impact on and off the court.
So when Carter pushed Clark, she wasn't just going after one opponent. She was essentially challenging the league's next big chapter. Clark is the WNBA's golden ticket right now, driving fan engagement and revenue, and Carter took a swing at that ticket. It's not just Carter's future in jeopardy. She's butting heads with the positive momentum Clark represents. As an unrestricted free agent, she's finding that her phone isn't ringing. Teams just don't want the complications she brings.
Guys, it is officially official. Chennedy Carter is an unrestricted free agent in the WNBA. The Chicago Sky opt to not extend a qualifying offer to her, and right now she is on the market and is free and available to go wherever she wants.
Commentators are saying Carter's only hope to salvage her pro career is a complete reset, a serious reputation overhaul. She needs to prove she can be constructive and ditch the drama. Some speculate her only way back might be a low-tier contract. Is there a shot at redemption? The league's stance is loud and clear. All the skill in the world won't matter if you can't keep it together. Fail that, and you'll be stuck on the sidelines for good.